Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna go over some top tips that I have for having a puppy or a puppy at heart. And at the end, I do have a little bit of a special announcement, so definitely stay tuned for that. What are we eating? Hey, Huckleberry. Hey, we not Huckleberry. Don't be Huckleberry. Today we're gonna go over some of the top tips for new puppies. I specifically have shepherds. Don't know where Lotus is going. He's got to be somewhere. But these would apply for pretty much any breed. Now, these aren't necessarily in any particular order, except the first one I do actually believe is the most important. All right, so the first tip is expecting too much too soon. I get a lot of DMs about various problems. You know, my pup is doing this, my pup is doing that, this doesn't seem to be working, crate training, potty training, whatever. And it almost always comes down to time and patience. My answer is almost always, you're expecting too much too soon. That could be various different degrees. It could be just overall, they're too young, you know, or it could be that you're expecting this to go too quickly. When we get into some of the more tips, you'll understand this, but certain things just take time. It's just kind of the fact of life. All right, so the second tip has to do with mouthing, or what most people would refer to as biting. Puppies generally are not biting you, they are mouthing you. They don't have a way to communicate. They can't talk, they can't raise their hand, they can't write down what they want to say. So they use their mouth. That's what they have at their disposal. So yes, there are ways that you can go about avoiding biting or mouthing. And I have a video that I will link below. I have lots of videos that I'm going to reference in this video, so I'll link them all down below. No, this is not a shortcut. No. Just remember that they are not actually biting you. So yes, like I said, there's things you can do to minimize this and to help with it, but you ultimately have to remember that they're not trying to bite you. That's not what they're doing. The third tip is to start car rides soon and make sure they are positive. Now, obviously my pups get in cars all the time, and I think that's good for them, but you know, maybe with your lifestyle, you just know like, hey, my pup doesn't need to, maybe we live on a big property and different things out in the country, and my pup just really isn't gonna go places in the car. That's fine. But I would still do it on occasion, because what's going to happen is when you are going to have to put them in the car, it's going to be because something like they need to go to the vet. And then what's going to happen is they're going to associate the car ride with things not being pleasant, and they're not going to want to get in it. Also, it can be stressful to get in a car and not understand why the ground is shaking and everything. So, you know, if you're having to take them to the vet or you're moving or something, that's already a lot of stress. So let's not add to it by the fact that they don't know how to handle themselves in a car. All right, the fourth tip, which is similar to tip number 3, is if you are going to take them on walks and take them to the park regularly, which I hope, because unless you have a bunch of property, you should be, you have to remember that, yes, there are certain times that I take them out, I expect them to go potty, and then we go back in. You know, right when we wake up in the morning, I take them out, they know we're coming right back in. Right before bed, they know we're coming right back in. And you know, sometimes if I'm going to leave, I'm going to take them out before I leave. But the issue I see is I'll see people show up at the park, get out with their dog. As soon as the dog goes potty, they just straight up turn around and go back. Problem with this is that dogs are smart, and they will learn that, hey, the sooner I go to the bathroom, the sooner I have to leave this place. I don't want to leave this place, so therefore I'm not going to go to the bathroom real quick. I'm going to take my time. All right, the fifth tip is potty training isn't hard, but it is extremely time consuming. Now, there's no way I can teach you potty training in this video. This video would be 2 or 3 times as long. I have a couple videos that I will link specifically on potty training. But what you want to remember is that potty training is a marathon. Generally, if you're doing it right from the beginning, you know, you get a puppy around 2 months old, you know, usually in that 4 to 5... You tell them. Usually by 4 to 5 months, they're probably potty trained, but only you're gonna know that for sure. What I will say is the biggest question I get around this is, I don't know what's going on. I took them out before bed. We were outside for 20, 30 minutes. They didn't do anything. We go inside and then they have an accident. It's a very simple solution to that problem. If you stayed out for 20 to 30 minutes and brought them in and then they had an accident, you didn't stay out long enough. I can't count how many times I have had to stay out before bed with Enzo or Lotus when they were puppies for an hour. or more, especially if there's something going on like fireworks or something making them anxious. Oh my gosh, I think my record's like 2 hours on a potty break before bed. And I mean, that's just, it sucks. Not gonna lie, it sucks, but kind of is what it is. Puppies are not going to make life quick and easy for you. If you need to take them out before you leave for work in the morning, then I suggest you take them out with plenty of time. All right, the 6th tip is about socializing, specifically with other pups and small humans. Now, I do want to say that you do want to make sure they have all their shots. I can't remember the exact age. You know, talk to your vet, because usually once you get a pup, they'll have their first set of shots, and then after so many weeks, you get the second shot. I would probably, until you get that second set of shots, I'd be real cautious about really just having them out in general, because you don't want them eating random things off the ground. Wow, I forgot about how loud bugs can be. I'm so used to being in the desert. Feels like the desert. She's a Pete. No, this is not a shortcut. Go on, go around. Go around. You're fine. Go around. Go that way. Oh, coming in hot. Okay. All right, my 7th tip goes along with number 6, and that is improper socialization can have lasting effects. What you don't want to do is take your pup, assuming they've had all their vaccinations. You don't want to take them just to the crowded dog park and let them go loose. That could have dire consequences. Honestly, I'm not a fan of dog parks at any age. It's one of those that I think sometimes they're a necessary evil, so I would avoid them. But that being said, whether it's children doing things inappropriate because kids are dumb, I don't care how many honor roll stickers your kid has, they're idiots. And they will do things that just, they don't understand it, and it's not the kid's fault, it's the parents' fault, because the parents are dumb, they don't understand it. They didn't even get the honor roll stickers. I'm going way off tangent here. I'm going way off topic here. So, again, socialization is important, but improper socialization is worse than no socialization. So, bad experiences can have lasting effects. Case in point, Lotus. I don't know what happened to Lotus in the first couple months of his life before I got him, but we're still dealing with the consequences to this day. All right, the 8th tip has to come with flea and tick. Just do whatever you want. Flea and tick preventativeness. I do not believe in the prescription types. You can do your own research, but there's so many. It's not so much that there's side effects, it's that the side effects are not worth the risk at all, in my opinion. Because if you're one of those pups that if you have a pup that has those side effects, it can lead up into death. So I don't like to mess with those. I use a spray. I've talked about it several times in videos. I'll link it below, and it's always linked below in the Amazon store. I spray it before we came out here today. Anytime I'm in an area where I have to worry about fleas and ticks. If you decide to give them those type of prescriptions, though, where they take it and you're supposed to be good to go, just keep in mind that in my experience from other dog owners and stuff, those are not foolproof. I mean, sometimes they are, but if you're in a high tick zone, that is not foolproof. No, and not shortcut, and not shortcut. Okay, my 9th tip has to do with crate training. People either not doing it or doing it improperly. Again, this kind of comes back to like, oh, well, my pup's an outdoor pup on a farm. They don't need to learn how to be in a crate. Okay, well, what if your pup has to go to the vet or the groomers? Or what if there's some family emergency and you have to put them in a kennel for the night? They're not gonna have any idea of what's going on. No, crate training should always be a thing. With that, proper crate training is the most important thing. Again, this is one of those topics like potty training that I've got entire videos dedicated to it that I'll link below. Just know that it is extremely important. Like I said, these tips are not ranked, but if they were, this would probably be number 2, honestly. All right, and the 10th and final tip, but hold on, I still have a special announcement at the end, has to do with proper training. Now, we've talked about crate training, and we've talked about car rides, getting them used to that, but what I mean is actual training, like sit, lay down, come, off-leash heels, things that you see my pups doing in videos. First, if you didn't know, I have an amazing partnership with Robert Cabral. It's linked below, so if you are up to the challenge of teaching them yourself, which I think you can do, with the proper classes, it's a phenomenal program. I've gone through a lot of it, looking through it. In fact, I'm actually, well, I'll talk about it in a second. So yeah, that's linked below. You know, the thing with training is any pup can learn to sit in your living room. It's kind of like when you learn to drive. Imagine you had never seen a car before, and instead of learning to drive in a parking lot like you probably did, where it was empty and there was no distractions, and well, let's face it, you were probably like 12 or 13. Instead of that, you're shown a car for the first time and then put on a multi-lane road with converging roundabouts and metered lights and all these random rules, that's not gonna go so well. You know, training is like that. You have to work up to those distractions. And the only way to do that is through proper sequences and proper stages. So that kind of leads me into the special announcement, and that is I'm gonna start doing some more training videos because I am currently training a couple pups. Shaggy, sit. Good boy, break. 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 Good boy. You'll start seeing videos for that. I may start doing some other pups. I've been asked in the past, people like, oh, will you train or something? And it's been one of those things I really didn't have the time to do, but I find myself with a little bit more free time these days. So yeah, I might entertain that. So if you're interested, you can DM me on Instagram and we can talk about it. Obviously, I travel a lot right now. For the next month or two, I'm in Cincinnati. That's it for my 10 tips. If you have any questions, definitely don't hesitate to DM me. Obviously, check out the videos linked below for the crate training, the potty training, and you can check out Robert's classes if you want to consider training them yourself. With that being said, as you can tell, it's getting a little warm. They're panting, so we're probably going to go in the AC after this. But to everybody who likes, watches, and subscribes to the videos, and especially the Patreons who you see scoring right now, who literally support us each and every month with their donations, I love you all. Good night. And definitely stay tuned toward... I'm gonna need a shower now. Goof. Goof. I'm not afraid of you. Do you mind, pup? Pup? Hey, do you mind?